Hi everybody. Me and Amy have come on to make a video together. We decided that we wanted to talk a bit about empaths and narcissists, and it just seems that it's a really big thing going on, and it seems quite a big illness that nobody's looking into. And what I've done is I've used 2 bits of footage from different channels. I go and watch these channels, or I have watched them. Me and Amy have been sort of researching, haven't we, Amy? And Amy's there, aren't you, Amy? Sorry, I said hello, Amy. Amy's there on the phone. We've been researching and listening because, these people keep popping into our lives. So I really hope that these 2 channels do not mind me using a tiny bit of their footage. I mean, I know it's on my channel, but if you go to their channel, there is hours of this stuff to listen to if you want to go and listen to it. So what I will do is I'll put the link for their channels in the description, and I just pray that they appreciate that we're having this hangout and me and Amy are talking about things, and that, they became just part of it a little bit because they were quite good at explaining things. Anyway, right, Amy?
Yes, Karen, yes.
I always wonder whether people give me strikes because I'll go, they're taking my work, and in a sense we are, but only to show what we're saying.
Right.
And that we've understood it, and we've understood them, and that we've taken time out to go and listen to their videos, and in a way we're promoting their channels.
That's right.
Thanks, Amy.
Oh, you're welcome, Karen.
Hey, me and Amy are joined together again, haven't we, Amy, to talk about things.
Yes.
We wanted to put, I suppose, this perspective, because we already know from Claudio that the times are difficult, don't we? That people don't know who they are, what they are, there's things wrong, and things are tapping at your soul, don't we?
Exactly. That's right, Karen, yes.
And we also know, me and Amy have been looking up quite a lot about narcissists, haven't we, Amy?
We have, Karen.
I mean, that's quite depressing in itself, isn't it?
It is. It's just so many people are affected by it. They get into narcissistic relationships and they don't realize it, and it's very damaging. I was in one myself, and it really was very damaging, but I've been healing, but it's taken 6 years for me to get past it. And I was involved with the narcissist on and off for 6 years, and he finally discarded me in 2014, and it was very painful.
Ology Unscripted, this is Dave. Today's subject is going to be when you resist the narcissist. Guys, take a quick second, like and subscribe, and then comment down below if you agree with this take. Little did we know when we met the narcissist, they were seeing if we were groomable for the program, the narrative in their head, to where we are just there for them. Are they going to fit that bill? Are we going to be malleable for the narcissist? So early, even in the golden period, the love bomb period, if we say no to the narcissist, how are they going to react to that, knowing that they have to season us, they have to form us into the doormat, because they got with us for our strengths and our virtues, but see, they're going to tear us down for the same virtues.
Sorry, Amy, I thought it wasn't recording when it was, and I just needed to make sure. So you were saying?
Yeah, well, I was in a relationship with the narcissist on and off for 6 years, but I didn't know anything about narcissism, and we had the final discard, as they call it, in 2014, 6 years ago, and even a couple of years after the breakup, I mean, I was in pain all the time, and then I found about narcissism, and then when I realized what they do to people, then it clicked for me, and now I understood why I was having all this trouble getting over him, because what it is, they don't really love you, they just treat you, you're a supply to fill some kind of a need that they have, and as long long as you worship them and are willing to be their supply, they'll keep you in their life. Even if they get rid of you for a while, they'll pop back in. And once he realized that I wasn't going to tolerate the way he was treating me, and I wasn't worshiping him anymore, he didn't want me anymore, and it was very heartbreaking. And so once I found out about narcissism, like I said, it really helped me understand why I was having so much trouble, because they take a part of you and take a part of your soul, and you just really have to just go within and heal yourself and get healing. Or go to God and ask him to help with the healing process.
There's something else in there.
It's quite painful.
I think I might call the hangout narcissists and empaths, because that's another thing. And when we looked it up, it actually says that empaths are can feel more connected. They've got a thing with narcissists for some reason. Maybe because an empath likes to help and all that, and the narcissist wants these things, but in the end it grates against everything an empath is, because they don't have empathy, they don't have feelings, they don't really care about you, their whole life's about them. And
That's
usually
right.
we've found out, haven't we, that with narcissists as well, that's a personality disorder. They're also into other things, they've got other problems.
Oh yes, they tend to have addictions to things, and that's how the man that I was with had addictions, and it was always something. And that's part of so you're never first for them either, and they do tend towards addictions, and they want you to support their addictions.
And also, what's the role then? There's three things that happen to you, isn't there? There's the love bombing.
Yes.
Then the next stage happens where basically they're criticising you all the time, and then comes the discard.
Yes.
Because if you can't give them what they want, they're going to discard you. It doesn't matter about love and getting to know you and bonding with you. If you can't give them the thing straight away. And also, they don't mind leaving you in. There's one guy calls it I can't say it now. A harem garage, where there could be 4 or 5 of you in there, and they leave you there, and then they can come back at times just to have the sex and things. And so they love bomb you. Then they're going to start saying things against you and make you feel really small, and then they disregard you.
Exactly.
And Amy, what's the message? What's the message? The only message they give you?
You have to get away from the narcissist. You just have
It
to get
doesn't
away
matter
from
how
them.
you feel. It doesn't matter you love them. It doesn't matter when you're talking to these people. They don't give a damn. And the only person that's important is them. They never ever think of your feelings at all.
We're going to be talking about the 3 things that the narcissist fears the most. The first thing that they fear the most is exposure. Narcissists are, by their very definition, extremely concerned with their image, how other people perceive them. They're heavily invested. You could say that they consider that their survival, their sense of being, their sense of survival and existing in the world depends on their false self-image that they've invested so much in projecting outward. Having that self-image, afraid of you exposing them, provided it is contradictory to their fake self-image. Now, if their self-image is that they're a bullying, sadistic, you can show people that they're actually this way, that's exposure. If they're presenting to the world that they're a mean, bullying dick, and you have evidence that they're a mean, bullying dick, that's not leverage, that's nothing. That actually, in fact, if anything, that feeds into the self-image. So that's not going to work as leverage. The second thing that the narcissist fears is any sort of defiance. Defiance represents a loss of control. So when you become authentically defiant, not if the target acts defiant, gets themselves all revved up and says no for a minute only to fall back into old patterns of behavior, but when you show defiance where you say no and you feel the no, and you mean the no, and you have the full intention of living that no, then they become fearful. So if you deny them and you say no, that triggers the fear that you'll move to the next level and completely detach from them. There is no way you would say no and mean no if the false image was still held over you and you were still committed to making that relationship work. So false image is everything. False image is all. If you want like them maintaining their vain idea of who they are in the eyes of you and in the eyes of the community is hugely important to them. The second phase that explains all of their behavior is down to narcissistic supply. So in number, false image holds no sway over you anymore. This they are terrified of. If they fail to convince you of their God-like status, of their specialness, their uniqueness, their amazingness, that they're the best thing that's ever happened to you, that you'll never do better than them, that you can't live without them. If they fail to convince you of that, they become deeply anxious. In fact, they go into abandonment terror. Why? Because in childhood, they never received love. So they attached to attention instead of love. And they didn't attach to a parent who would then go on to become an intimate partner. They attached to an audience member. So they can really only do a dynamic where somebody is applauding them. They fear exposure. They fear damage to the narcissistic self-image. They fear defiance. And then they fear loss of supply. Loss of supply.
That's right, Karen. They don't ever take your feelings into account.
Not at all.
And we as empaths, we're
But you know what they say? Do you know what they say?
Right.
This is
We
what
do
they say.
take it.
That actually they're really, really small, hurting people inside, and that even though they pretend to the world that they're grand and wonderful and how happy they are, inside they're lost little children, and it all happened in their childhood. And so say for instance something happens, they never want anybody else to know how low they really felt, or that someone was leaving them, or abandonment, or how lonely they are. They'll only pretend to the world that they're so happy when inside they're not, but they never want anybody to see that. So that's really sad, isn't it?
It's very sad. Yes. In fact, I saw after the same year that after I was with that narcissist that discarded me, and I saw him coming out of the store. I was just driving by, my sister and I happened to see him coming out of the convenience store, and he was laughing, and he looked, my sister said he looked like he just got off a ride from an amusement park. And I said, boy, I said, he hates life so much, and he has to pretend everything is a great big happy thing just to hide. I just doing. I mean, he was like shaking his head and laughing, and this is just from an experience of going into a convenience store, and you could just tell it was phony, that he was putting on the act, and that was just the first words out of my mouth. I said, boy, he hates life so much, he has to pretend everything is wonderful, and but it is not happy. Put on a face to the world that they are, and they never want to be shown or revealed for who they really are. That they'll never. And
they're quite calculated, aren't they,
won't
Amy?
Keep you.
They're quite calculated about everything they do.
Very calculated. Yes, and some of the videos that I watched when I first found out about narcissism were saying that they know that they're going to do this to you. They know they're going to discard you at some point, and they sort of look forward to it. Even they showed they anticipated, like we would anticipate eating a delicious meal. That's how much they anticipate their final discard. They know they're going to do it, and they wait till they're completely ready, and then when they do it, it brings them a joy. That's what some of the videos that I watched said. So it helped me I was watching these videos after I was done with this person, but I couldn't get over him, and I thought something was wrong with me. I had Stockholm syndrome, because when I look back at how poorly he treated me, I thought, well, how can I love him so much and not be able to get over him? And then I just couldn't, I never found anything about narcissism. I found about Jezebel spirit, which is really just another term for narcissism, but what it is, it's a spirit that makes people just selfish and just want to control other people and use other people. But then when I found out what a narcissist was, it helped me so much to understand why I was having so much difficulty getting past this person in my yeah, it's just and it seems like it's really on the rise, because there's so many videos out there and so many channels.
Well, we were talking a little bit about that, because if you go on Facebook and say, I try to say, well, you've got a headache and I offer this remedy or whatever it is, or someone in the comments does it, you can get a strike.
I know.
But then there are thousands of channels talking about narcissism, which is offering advice. And how do we know they're correct? Because we get there and I think, oh, look, it says this. Let's go and look at this one. And then when we get there, when I come out of it, I think they give you everything and nothing all in one go. And all it is that when you're there, it's like getting a hit of Chris Watts again.
Right. Yes. Another hit of Chris Watts. Because,
you know, you're getting something, but they're not explaining enough.
Right.
Like, I can't say in the middle of a situation when it's happening, hang on a minute, I'm just going to get a video. I have to go through the 6,000 I've been watching now to pick the right one for this argument. You know, I can't think anything they really gave you to really help you, except you cannot be you. You have to be basically emotionless to cope with them, and anything you want to do, you still got to carry on doing it and don't worry about them. And then the other point is leave. Don't even tell them you're leaving. Just leave and don't come back.
Right.
There's not really many options, is it, if you're with one of them?
No, it isn't. I have seen articles, like from Psychology Today, that said that you could try to be in a relationship with a narcissist, but you've got to really navigate it away. You have to make sure you're praising them, and it doesn't seem worth it in the end to me, especially when they will ask you to change all of your values for them, and things that you hold dear, they ask you to give up for them, and put aside your principles and everything, and they have such a pull on you that you'll be willing to do it because you want.
Yeah, because these people are not going to meet you halfway. They are never coming halfway to meet you. You've got no,
exactly.
You know, they must be bipolar as well, because I remember with a bipolar person, this article, it said, if you argue with them, they're going to argue with you, and if you don't argue with them, they're going to argue with you. You know, they're going to find a reason to argue with you. And it's like, there's no winning or way out. I mean, like, who wants that no matter what you do or don't do, they're going to argue with you. So these kind of things stop you expressing yourself anyway, don't they? Because you can't talk when people are like that.
That's right. You can't.
And the other thing as well is that, I'm sorry, until people wake up and are responsible for themselves and always blaming everybody else for the things that they're doing and knowing what they're doing but still doing it and blaming you, I don't see how that works either.
Oh, it doesn't. And
so it's like saying, oh, I spilt some coffee on my computer. I'm not speaking to Amy, but it's all Amy's fault from America. I hate you, Amy. Look what you made me do. You did that. Right,
That's right. They blame you for everything, and another thing they won't do is give you any kind of closure, because I think I was looking for that.
Yes, I understand that one, Amy, and when they add other excuses in there and do all these kind of things when actually they've betrayed you, lied to you, have never told you the truth about themselves, never started off by saying, look, this is what I really want in life. and yeah, I've got a few hiccups here and a few hiccups there. No, someone like me has to find out about it and spend months working out who someone was.
Exactly.
And it's horrible, and at the end of it, there's still an excuse. Do you know what the one to me was? I want to start a family.
Oh.
When they know I can't have children, so I mean, how many more excuses can you take from someone?
That's right. That's I think I had a man do that to me as well.
I think what it is you're not falling for all the excuses, and they have to stick that one in because they know you can't do that one. It's all calculated and horrible. Like if people can't be truthful from the beginning, and you find out who they are, and those are the kind of things they've got to say to you. It's not really, and then they wonder why you get upset.
A Hoover from Cheap Supply Hoover, or a Hoover that wants to come back in and perform their god-awful, ridiculous future faking again. First, I want to make sure everyone has their truth list, their Hoover truth list. Just make sure you guys are making a list with 2 columns. On the left side, I want you guys to write down the truth of who the narcissist actually is. And then on the right side, I want you to write down what they wanted us to believe, what the mask was all about. Write that down first and foremost. Call it the Hoover Declaration List, okay? Make sure that's at the beginning of a notebook too, because every time you're triggered, you're going to want to reference that. It's very, very helpful, because once you start getting out of that dissonance, guys, and that is the lie that the brain is telling you, that defense mechanism that's going on, every time you're triggered, you pull out that notebook and you add on to the truth of the declaration of the Hoover. That Hoover list will help you also, but when you're writing things down, when you get triggered, it's carving out different pathways in the brain, okay? And it's a good way to get over your dissonance, because once you're over the dissonance, it gets easier.
Yeah.
Ultimate excuse.
And they love doing this. They love getting you upset, those narcissists, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
They delight in it seems. And you're like, oh my God.
Exactly. And it's really hard.
I think this is why they say, get away from them and don't ever go back there again, because there's no room for anything.
That's right.
And these people lie to themselves, and again they make a future and a system that's just not there, but that's what they want to fit around themselves, and that's why they think they're so wonderful and magnificent, because everything is about them.
That's right. But then also deep down, I've heard that they really don't have a self-esteem inside of them. All of their self-worth comes from other people's image of them. So if everybody around them is, adoring them and praising them, that's where they need their all of their self-esteem. They don't get it from.
It says that your exit's happening when you're not applauding them and thinking they're wonderful all the time. They don't like that, because that's what you're supposed to do. But even if you thought they were wonderful and magnificent, they're still going to line up. Then they're going to have a go at you and say things, put you down, make you feel worthless, and then comes the disregard, and they're going to do that, and they love doing that as well.
They do.
So these people that you think are your soulmate and you're trying to get close to, they weren't any of those things anyway. They were never, even though they're telling you all those things, they only obviously want something else. So, yeah.
That's right. That's what this person told me. I was a soulmate, and the female version of him, and all this stuff, and I really kind of felt it too, but it was obviously a lie, and we went back and forth at least 3 times, and in the end, I was kind of the one that beat him to the punch. I saw the final. I didn't know it was called a final discard then, but I saw it coming. He was going to get rid of me, and I kind of beat him to the punch, and I told him I couldn't put up with his games anymore, and how much it was hurting me, and I really told him off, and that was the first time that I had told him off, and he was done, because I saw that he was not the good person that I thought he was, and he didn't like that I wasn't adoring him in that way anymore, and he didn't probably like that I had some self-respect inside of me that I wasn't going to just tolerate any way he was treating me.
These people, though, even this bloke you were telling me earlier on, about it, that they just don't have any depth of anything to talk to you, anything. They just do not have this depth.
No, there's no depth. And that's hard when we're an empath and we're full of depth and feelings. And they can pick up when the narcissists, that they will go for empaths because they pick up when. And like you said, that we like to help people, so they have problems, and we think that we can help fix them, and we really can't. But I always feel like I have a savior complex, that I can save you. My love will pull you through, but you can't. But they just use that to get you to do what it is they need you to do for them, and you will practically do anything. They get such a tie on you. You'll do anything to make them happy and hope that they will love you. And
until you can't do it anymore, till you realise what it is.
That's right.
And me the hard way, I kept trying to talk to them and trying to tell them, but it didn't make any difference, because that's not what the game was. The game was themselves.
Exactly, that's right, Karen. And it's a very painful thing to go through.
It is, because it doesn't matter about your feelings. It doesn't matter whether you love them, like them, care about them. It just does not matter at all. The aim of the game is that they win. And in some of the programs we watched or videos, it said some people have died in the middle, and that's still not enough for them.
Exactly.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. They're that bad.
Yeah, they are. They just are pretty heartless. There's something missing inside of them,
which is absolutely disastrous for an empath.
Oh, it is, and it's just hard to watch. I saw that the guy I was with, that he was preying on other women the last time I was with him, and he was preying on other women, and it was a real turn-off, just because I didn't want him to be going after other women when he was with me, but also for the women. I felt bad for the women, because I thought that's really cruel that you're playing on this woman, making these girls think they had a good chance with him, when he told me that really they didn't. And I just saw all that, and it was just sending off all kind of alarm bells.
Well, I can see why you didn't respect him, Amy.
Oh, thank you, Karen. I mean, right, there was things he did in the past that weren't good, but to me, when you're starting to, I'm seeing him hurting other people now, that was just the end, and I made up my mind I didn't want to be a part of that.
I just wonder, anybody listening into me and Amy and listening to Amy, I wonder how many other people have got narcissists in their lives, or who's an empath. But it's just, I put a video out the other day, because this is all a program that we're in. This is part of the program, that the people are like that. Not you, Amy. I know that you loved your mum and dad, or especially your dad, but a lot of us didn't have those nice, cushy relationships. Most of us had weird parents who really didn't meet our needs, and there seems to be a lot of abandonment. Then when you come out of that, maybe it takes a couple of more generations. You just got narcissistic people. But it was a program that did it to us, another program. So all those programs you think that there's another one now. And I mean, James is the 8 Laws of Anxiety, so that's another program keeping us in anxiety.
Anxious.
But the thing is that the biggest thing you can do for your soul is to go back and work out who you are as a person. You need to know who you are, otherwise you're always going to say, well, you make me do that, because you're never going to take responsibility for yourself. So you need to go back. But the narcissist one, my God, they seem pathological.
Oh, I think it is. It's like they can be pathological.
1 second, Amy, we're finishing the video.
Okay.
I had to start the video again because Wider Awake's video kept letting me mirror these and just showing you some of the stuff he's taking photographs. There's different types of narcissists, isn't there, Amy? There's
and the covert is.
1 second, 1 second, wait a minute. The page is going round and round. Yeah, go on, Amy.
The covert narcissist, it says, I'm looking at an article, and it says that they're only different from the overt in that they need to be more introverted. So covert is like, like cover. Think of cover.
Well, I think the over one is this guy that walks up to you and goes, "Hi, babe, how are you? You look gorgeous."
Yes.
They're more like that. They're more looking like they're in the open. But
Right.
the covert one can't express himself at all.
Yes.
Keeps
So
his
overt
feelings
is-
very close to his chest.
Yeah.
And they actually
that's
say
right.
that one is a worse one.
Yes. That's right, because it's sneakier when they're covert. When they're, maybe catch on to it as easily, because the overt is going to be, because they're loud, they're arrogant, and covert is more introverted, and so maybe you're not going to catch it right away that they're this kind of person, because they hide it more. You can tell with the overt that they need all this admiration.
1 second, Amy, 1 second. So we've put little clips in from these channels, and it seems that narcissists are very controlled and going to get it all their own way, and being an empath's just a nightmare then.
Oh, that's right, Karen. We feel feelings anyway, and so when you're with a narcissist, it's going to drain. Really.
Can you say that again, Amy? Sorry, it
everything.
cut out. It cut out. Can you say that again?
I was saying, with Empath, because we feel everybody's feelings anyway. We're just in tune. And so when you're with a narcissist and they're just draining you like that.
And not just that, they're putting their feelings onto you, whether they're right or wrong or whatever's going on. So you haven't just got your feelings you're thinking about, you've got all theirs. And, if they are pretty narcissistic, it's going to weigh like a weight around your throat, and it's just really hard and draining. It really is.
Yes, draining.
Yeah. I don't know what it really means for an empath. I think empath have to find another empath.
Exactly.
Someone
I
who
think
understands
so
what you're saying, because they don't, and they're not interested in what you're saying anyway. So
that's right.
Yeah, because it's just doesn't, although you're attracted to each other, it doesn't work when one's an empath and one's an. I don't think it even works if you're both narcissists. But if you find a narcissist, then it just ain't gonna work, because you're heartfelt and they're only thinking of themselves.
That's right.
We don't have any answers for this, by the way. We just wanted to bring it into people's attention, but it is still quite mind-spanning watching all those series of things. Like, you get stuck in, it's like Crime Watch Daily. For a little while I got into that until I realised what was going on. I'm not sure whether you get into I need Dave. I need that. I need to listen to somebody talking about narcissism. I don't want that either.
But I think what it is that we need healing so much that we are drawn to listening to whoever's channel it is. We're drawn to their videos because they are enlightening us and maybe offer. Some channels more than others offer ways to heal, but I think for me, just hearing the affirmation of what I was going through, it was so
I think what happens
to
is,
me.
if you get to the end of being with a narcissist, I'm going to have to eat my own advice, but you don't need validation from them, even though you want it because you care about them, whether it's a friend or a lover. But you don't need the closure from them. The only way you get it is through yourself. do the closure
Exactly.
yourself. You don't need them. You think you need them because what it is they make you codependent on them. Because
Exactly.
whatever bonds it is, you're codependent on them. So you feel this need that you need the closure from them. But you don't. You closure it yourself. You do it for yourself. And they will hate it, but you do it yourself. And
That's
it's
right.
a shame, really, because you think you've shared all this time and experience with them, but you didn't.
I know.
You didn't in the
That's
first
right.
place.
Oh, I know.
So the closure you do for yourself. So that's the only
Right.
thing that you can offer someone is don't worry about everything. Just do the closure yourself. But I do like the idea what that guy
Exactly.
was saying in the list. So make a list. And the list of the things that they did, and while it gets longer and longer, this is why you end up not wanting to talk to them ever again.
That's right.
And you know the other thing, what do they love doing, Amy? These people love going to social media and sticking you all out social media. They think that's great.
Right, because they want to have an audience of people that's supporting them, because their self-image only, or their self-esteem comes from other people. They don't have it within, so they need an audience of people that can see what they're putting out. And
Oh,
then
Amy, I
support
love
them.
you.
Oh, I love you too, Karen.
Yeah, Amy knows I'm going through something right now, but yeah, I did hear them say that, but you say it again, I hear that totally. Thank you, Amy.
Oh, you're welcome, Karen.
But you know what? You know, as much as maybe something's been going on in my life right now, I look round at nearly the whole of my life and I think, oh, my parents were narcissists. A lot of my close family, I'm just going to leave it like that in case any of them watch it, but immediate family seem it.
Right.
Only one of my sons seems to have got it a bit and respects me. The others all have these
Yes.
big ego problems, and you know, I was thinking, my first husband, yeah, he was one. The third one, he actually thought that he was a colour-sergeant paratrooper, and he never was, and so he was one. And actually, the last one was. So,
Aw.
you know, it's quite mind-boggling that the whole world seems to be a narcissist, and there aren't many of us that are free of being.
That's right.
And also, it's like, you know, this guy called Louis, I never met him and I'll never know if he was a liar, and I hadn't actually explained very much of myself to him. It was on a phone call and he said things to me that I just, you know, when men come along, all they do is give you their problems. And I think, oh, it's still going on then. That's all people want to do is just give me their problems. They never get to know me properly as a person. And then what happens is
That's right.
you spend months running around their problems. You know, but life's so much more beautiful than that when you deep breaths. And
Yes.
have friends like Amy.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
There's
Yeah,
nothing you can do.
too.
Being an empath, never go near a narcissist.
Yes.
But you know, if they are honest in the
Absolutely.
beginning, you never would have gone near them. And unfortunately, you could be weeks and months with someone learning to get to know them or understand them, and then you find out what they are, and now you're involved with them. I think that's what
That's
happens. But if people were
I
more
think
honest,
so.
which, you know, I've read my book from the beginning, then you wouldn't be in these places if people were honest and told the truth from the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
But that's not really
But
what a
the-
narcissist is about, isn't it? It's about entrapment, humiliation,
Exactly.
and then disregard.
Exactly.
And so what it is they're
And-
never going to be intimate with you because they can't, because that's not what their aim is. And even if you think that's what it was and you think that's what they're giving you, they're not giving you that. They're only giving you this layer. And actually the layer has always got, well, you'll be leaving anyway.
That's
And in case they
then
think you're going to get rid of them,
but
they have
they
to
love
reject you
them.
first. They've always got to reject you first, even if it's not happening. And it's just the most weirdest place to turn around and you think, nearly everybody I know, or most people are narcissists.
Yes.
They don't, none of these, well, I think my saddest part is, none of these people think as a whole, just think of themselves.
That's right. That's all they know how to do.
And you know, like me, you know, you don't have to feel sorry for me and Amy, but we have the world on our shoulders. We feel all your pain.
Right.
And you know, we can't help everybody, and you just can't sort everybody's lives out, but we feel your pain.
No.
Just on a friendship level, if it comes in a relationship and it's like that. But Amy, is there anything else you want to say? Because can't sort it out, but closure for yourself.
Yes.
Try and recognise who these people are before you get involved with them.
Yes.
Nothing is about you, it's only about them. Very controlled and pathological, and they're going to lie to you all the way through because they just want something from you. They're vampires.
Vampires, that's right. Yeah, so if you find that you think you're in a narcissistic relationship, get out of it as soon as possible before they can do any more damage. And if you've been in a narcissistic relationship, you just really have to focus on healing yourself. And I think there's videos out there that tell people, what to do. It's really a process, and you have to be good to yourself. Some of the videos I used to watch said, even if you have to just stay in bed and watch your favorite movies or something, just do whatever it takes
you
to
spend
heal
so
you.
long running around the narcissist and their problems and their feelings that what you did was you neglected yourself, and then you've got to find yourself again, because it's the same for me. My whole mind for months has been filled up with this other person, and nothing else has existed except them because I love them. And actually now you need to love yourself and sort yourself out.
It's right here.
And do you know what? They will hate it that you get strong, because they will always be in the same place no matter what happens. They're always going to be in the same place. Because what they need to do is they need to go for rehab and for all the other addictions and blaming and all that, but they won't, because they think they're God in the first place.
Exactly.
But they know they're not at the same time. It's most bizarre. If you can't...
Really
see, the saddest part about that is you have to work this out in yourself. So it's a bit like I go, well, Amy's got to make me feel like God, and if she doesn't, I'm getting rid of her. So the moment Amy doesn't make me... That's it. Your excuse. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore. How horrible is that when you think that that's what they're really offering you? They're not offering to get close to you or love you or like you. They just want to, if you don't do as you're told, you're going.
That's right.
And why are we friends, Amy? Because that's not the kind of relationship we have.
I think because we're both empaths, and we care about other people, and we care about each other. We're not wired the way that the narcissist is, and so we care about each other and love each other because we're empaths, and we see the kindness in each other. At the end
but that doesn't mean that they do that. They don't do that at all. And Amy's told me that in the past that she's got. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, that's not the way that me and Amy talk to each other. We don't treat each other like that. And I think if I get upset, Amy knows I'm not upset with her. We've got a good relationship, haven't we? I know it's a bit on the phone, but we spend a lot of time together, don't we?
Yes, we do, Karen. Yes. Well, I knew you were a very kind, empathic person.
Oh, Amy, but you're kinder than me.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Amy has the most beautifulest heart ever. She just really does. She's such a kind person. And I know Amy loves me without a fault.
Karen.
Yeah, I know she loves me. So what more could you want from a friend? But there are other people it doesn't happen like that, and that's not what their goal is. They could disregard you like a dirty tissue at any moment. Well, I don't want
Exactly.
I don't know. I think that's the hardest part of meeting new people and not wanting that again.
That's right.
But if the thing you need to do is work yourself out, because like I said, if you don't work yourself out, then all you're going to do is project it out the whole time, and no one is ever going to match up to it, ever. The goalposts are constantly going to change. You're going to change the excuses, the lies. You're going to say, oh, well, it's because of this now. Oh, well, it's because of that now. You cannot be honest with yourself. But me and Amy could have been narcissists, couldn't we? There was a point where my first marriage, I needed to change myself, but I didn't know how to do it, so my whole life came out. But then I thought to myself, well, I don't want to be ugly and angry, and I taught myself to smile and hug people.
Yes.
And the power of a hug and the power of speech. And then, for a while it might have even been awkward. but I didn't want to be like that. And I remember this lady, when I was crossing the road one day, she was telling me how people get angry with the weather. I don't know how we got onto the conversation. I think I was helping her across the road, and she was going, well, people get angry about the weather, but how can you get angry about that? You've got no control over it, so why get angry about it? I've never been angry with the weather. That's one thing I've never been angry with. And the other thing is, there's two things in life I think you can't change, which is the weather and death. And I know that you might not be able to change the death, but on that journey, you can change how you feel in your mind. And yeah, that's what I think. So you can change how you feel in your mind, and it takes what's the word? It takes patience, and it takes bashfulness. It takes you don't do it with a pride, you do it with an intention, but you can change yourself if you want. You're only broken.
Exactly.
That mirror's only broken if you leave it like that. It's for you to change the mirror. But that's the only thing you can offer. But we're empaths, so we already feel a lot of people's feelings.
That's right.
World's not very happy, is it, Amy?
No, it's not. But like you said, we just have to start within ourselves. And you don't want to, I learned over the years, you don't want other people to determine your if somebody, for example, you say good morning, they ignore you, or you don't let in your day, you just go ahead and be the pleasant, kind person that says good morning. You don't allow others to bring you to
yeah, sorry, Amy, you're breaking up a little bit there, but what Amy's saying is, just in case people didn't get that, she's saying don't let anybody bring you down. You know, it's not your fault these people are in bad manners and ugly and angry. Do you know what I think though, Amy? When you're not attached to them, so it's just a stranger and they do that, you can go, stupid idiot. It might affect you for a few minutes and it goes, but when someone you love does that, it's not so simple when they keep doing that. And that's when you start researching and realising what's going on. And it's horrible to think that a lot of people in society are these narcissists no matter what. And very quickly, I was talking to Claudia about, you know, what flat earth means. To me, it meant so much. It doesn't just mean what we're living on. It means who we are as people, how we think and feel, and where you want to go in life and which direction you're going in. But that doesn't mean it's the same even when people say that they are awake and awoken and whatever it is they believe in. It doesn't mean they have those feelings. And I thought, you know, that's what it meant to me, but it doesn't always mean the same to other people.
That's true. That's a great point.
You know, to me it was about how you were as a person, you know. We all have to do this homework. I've got quite a few psychological books up there. You know, I'm okay, you're okay's one, so I probably was quite lost when I read that one. But I did all this years ago, and then you meet people and they do not know who they are and they have not worked themselves out, and that was the best they can give you. Not good, is it?
Oh, I know. Very discouraging.
And what I think is as well is that, you know, we become too intelligent for a lot of people, empaths. We have to be here.
That's right. That's true. But again, we can only fix ourselves. We cannot fix other people.
No, so that's the message. Fix yourself. Heal yourself, and don't, as much as possible, try to be anywhere near a narcissist.
That's right.
Especially if you're an empath.
Exactly.
All they're going to do is break your heart, and yeah, that's what happens.
That's right.
Use you, chew you, and then spit you out. It's not very nice, is it? I'm so glad me and Amy are not like that.
Oh, I know.
And they don't know how to trust anybody either. Like, I trust Amy.
Yes, and I trust Karen. That's right, but they can't trust. There's something in them that can't trust other people because there's something broken inside.
So just as we're ending this little speak, like, I wonder how many people feel that they know a narcissist, think they are a narcissist, or think they're an empath, or have any comments of what we've talked about. Do you think, Amy?
Oh yes, that would be great.
Amy likes the comments.
Yes, I do.
Anyway, should we finish on that note, Amy?
Oh, yes, Karen.
Thank you so much for helping me do another video.
Oh, you're welcome, Karen. My pleasure.
Lovely Amy, thank you so much. Mwah. And
Oh, you're
chat from
welcome, lovely Karen.
lovely Amy.
Oh, lovely Karen.